9 minutes with Nate. You got time. It's just now. 9 minutes with Nate. You got time. It's just now. 9 minutes with Nate. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Hey, 9 minute with Nate fans, the wait is over. We are live. It's 7:45 right on the dot. Welcome from Facebook. If you're watching from YouTube, welcome. Man, I am so excited about this tonight. I can't tell you. My nerves have been crazy all day.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to get on live and just say, wow, like we're really doing this today, man. Y'all, listen, I'm not even going to prolong the intro, man. I got somebody on this live that, man, I'm telling you, if I'm going to give you the background before I bring him, before I formally introduce him, man. So back in 2002, obviously, y'all know who I am, man. I'm 9 minutes with Nate. Y'all know who I am. So, was getting ready to go to college, had no idea where I was going to go. Didn't have a clue. Had picked the school, then found out, that school wasn't the choice for me, that I was going to end up going to another school. And here I am. Boom. I'm at Charleston Southern, walking across campus. I don't have my scholarship papers. I don't have no book. I barely got a room. I'm just on campus because I know I'm supposed to be there. And they told me, hey, you're going to be the next, you're going to be one of our next great sprinters, and awesome. And I'm like, all right, cool. So what I do? And so I just walk around campus looking, trying to find my way, and I bump into this guy, and he had on shorts and a t-shirt and running shoes. Typical track person, very comfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey man, I'm trying to find the quads, and he's like, it's over there. And I was like, okay, cool. He said, man, you Nate? What's your name? And I said, Nate Breland, man. I'm here for track. And he says, well, I'm Chris, man. Chris Ward. I run track too, man. From that moment, it was a ride, y'all. I promise you, it was a ride. It was so cool. He was like, man, come on, let me show you where to go, man. I'm going to take care of you. And here we are, January 13th, 2020.
20 years later.
Connected still. And let me formally reintroduce you to others. Chris Ward, my guy from Charleston Southern. Chris Ward, y'all.
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? I'm excited, so excited to be on with 9 minutes with Nate, my boy. We got a good word for you tonight. Some wisdom, some insight, some knowledge that we are looking forward to bringing you. So it's you get your pen and paper ready. I got mine because I'm gonna taking some notes too. So yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to. I'm ready to serve. I'm ready to be a messenger, ready to be a conduit, to give you more insight, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
Boom. See, I told you. Hey, if you didn't see those flyers, if you didn't share the video, if you didn't share the link, take a second, click like, hit share, put this in the atmosphere for others to see. Folks that aren't connected to you, they need to get the information too. Like I always say every week, man, we come live and we drop it and we get on out the way, but the replays are always out there. So please, drop your comments. I'm able to see the comments. We can respond to your comments if you have any. And then let's go, man. Chris, man. Wow. Again, as we said before we came on live, man, I'm so appreciative of, the relationship. You were a servant before you probably knew you were. Your story.
That's true.
Your story is amazing. I'm not even going. I don't even feel qualified to tell it. So if you want to tell the people, how you got to this point to where you're going strong, you're posting lives, what you're doing down in Florida, and how you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, well, you want the short version, you want the long version. Like
give me the skinny. The people want the skinny.
The skinny. Oh, I gotta condense this down. Let me see. I failed a lot. I failed often. I had to overcome. I overcame. I had to challenge, and I conquered. Like I've done a lot, but no, like um, truth be told, for like 37 years of my life, through college, through a failed marriage, through you know a failed fatherhood, through just a lot of failures through my life, I finally got to the point where I started to grow and started to learn and started to seek information that was going to make me better. And 2016, I moved to Florida, and people were like, "Why are you moving to Florida?" And I was like, "Why not, dude? It's hot, it's beaches, it's palm trees, and it's sun. Like this, that's my place. That's where I'm supposed to be. My heart say I'm a Floridian, and I'm in Oklahoma. Like that don't even work, right? That, that don't even work. So but my overall goal, my answer to that was just to grow in every single aspect of my life. Like that was the reason why I was moving to Florida. Like I felt that was the soil that I was supposed to be in. Like that was my environment, from probably elementary or middle school. Like every time I would open a map, my eyes would dart straight to Florida. Like it was a pulling, there was a calling for me to like be here. And then once I got here, there was this an accelerated growth that I went through, uh, and they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Well,
That's it.
I had about nine different teachers throwing stuff at me, like here you go, take that, take this, take that. And
Mm.
so it was just like, oh my gosh, where was all this information when I was this age, or when I was going through high school, or when I was going through college? Like I didn't get the financial IQ, I didn't get the emotional IQ, I didn't get nothing. There was like, you born, welcome to this world, now go. And it's like, go where?
Mm-hmm.
like go where? And so and like all along the past, I've been here 5 years. My dad was like, hey, you've been there 5 years. I was like, whoa, it's been 5 years already, and the leaps and bounds of monumental growth that I've experienced has been nothing short of amazing. Like I'm so looking forward to acquiring more knowledge, seeking more wisdom, just to see how far I can go. As an individual, as a servant of God, as a messenger, you know, um, as a leader, as a motivator and inspirator, like all that stuff. And so you're looking at an individual that was shy, that didn't really hardly ever talk to anybody unless I needed to, um, that was just quiet as a dead church mouse. Like I didn't say a word. I wasn't trying to say a word, and I wasn't going to say a word. And like you're like, hey Chris, like that was it. That's how
That's it. That's
like
it. You're
that's how
right.
you
I
go
remember
get
that. Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
So, and to basically get to the point where coming from being shy, being having an inferior complex of being around people, trying to be a people pleaser, trying to be validated and accepted and loved in in the wrong way, um, to where I am now. I'm so happy of the man that I am. I'm looking forward to the man that I'm becoming, and I'm on a journey and a mission to try to better humanity. And so, yeah, that's my little rant, and I'll throw it back to Nate.
Awesome, man. Hey, listen, man, we already got a question, bro. So my neighbor, bro, he's like literally like 20 feet away from me. House wise, Travian Brown. He asked, he said, what do you think prevented you from acquiring more knowledge and wisdom before you moved to Florida?
Not really being exposed to it. Growing up as with my mom and my dad, two separate households. Um, I wasn't. It wasn't drilled into me that education was the way to go. Seeking knowledge, seeking wisdom, seeking understanding was what I needed. You know, in life. So so once I got out of high school and college, I was just like, I know, I know what life is about. I'm good. Yeah, all I got to do is just work hard. I'm straight, man. Like so, I didn't have no plans. I didn't have no goals. I didn't have no visions. I didn't college to me was a blessing. That wasn't nothing but the Lord. I didn't even fill out no fast for that. I didn't do I didn't do none of that stuff. Like it was like, hey, you want a track scholarship? Yeah, all right. I'll call my school and let them know that you run track and expect your NIL in the mail. And a week later, that's how it happened. Like if it wasn't for that, like I would be in a factory somewhere, probably making windows still. Like I don't know. But yeah, just exposure. Like I didn't know how important exposure is to a child. Exposure is to your upbringing. Because if you're not exposed to certain things, and if you're not, taught to um, seek out knowledge, information, and wisdom and understanding past the education that you get from the school system, then you're gonna be in a world of hurt. And so, from the time I graduated college to I was 36. So that's what 10 years to 13, 12, 13 years. Like it was just I was going off of what I saw, what I acquired, what I knew, how I was already conditioned, and trying to apply that to new situations without learning as the day went by, as the years went by, um, and as my life went by. So there wasn't me picking up books and reading like I am now. There was no listening to podcasts like I am now. Like there wasn't none of that going on. It's like give me my music, I'm good. Like let's go. Give me my '90s R&B, my new edition, my Joe, my Brian McKnight, my like my Mary J. Blige. Okay, give me all that, and I'm good. I'm gonna sit in the back of the bus, and I'm just gonna nod my head, and I'm we just gonna basically take life high flow.
Yeah, I can identify with some of that. You brought up a couple things that I talked about last week. If the folks out there watched my live last week, I talked about failure. Failure is not final. And had you allowed the failures, I mean, some of our failures are identical. I've had a failed marriage, and I know how that looks, how that felt, and how dejected I was with myself. Like, man, like I thought it was going to be peaches and cream, and it was not, and it did not turn out well.
There was no 112 in that.
No, and so and I've been a people pleaser, and in ways I have really poured into a lot of cups that had nothing in them, and I poured too much. And when it came time for me to get myself moving and going again, I didn't have any oil. It's like putting, you got that '97 Nissan Altima out there. It's running, it's got 300,000 miles, but you didn't change the oil.
Yeah, no.
You didn't keep the oil change. You didn't keep refreshing. Just like you refresh the oil, you're refreshing your personal life. A lot of times we do that. We'll pour because for love, we want to make sure that the person loves us, so we think we should pour into them. For multiple reasons why we do it. But once we have learned, by being burnt, by being mistreated, by just being drugged through the mud, man, you get a little mud on your beard and your face. You're like, okay, man, hold on now. I got to do something here.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, you would agree that that is life. That is part of life. Getting that mud, and really getting those experiences. I know that the road has not been easy. Both of us. I mean, you remember when I was a freshman, I had to sit out, and I
Yeah.
was running, you know, some of the fastest times in the conference,
Yeah.
but I was academically ineligible. But how, you know, and whoa, how does that happen to a kid whose mom is an educator who has drilled it down? So, you know, you got the spectrum of it wasn't drilled. I got the spectrum that it was drilled, and we both we
We
both
both
ended up with
academic
some types of
athletes,
failure.
okay?
It just speaks to the fact that no matter where we mentally, you know, start, it doesn't have to end that way. And I kudos to you, man. You know, you've had struggles and you've had failures and you've had your successes, and they've all molded you into an individual now, who's not afraid to get on the live, who's afraid to, I mean, hey, you're on my platform talking to me to 8 people right now, but that's cool. I don't care how many people are here, but because this is going to get shared all over the place, so it'll be everywhere by in the morning. But so everybody's gonna know Chris Ward by tomorrow.
I'm okay with that.
Awesome, and it just really, man, life has a way, and I say it all the time. Life has a way of really just, and then you got to mold yourself to what you really truly want to leave your mark as. You know, me being a father, man, I'm like, man. When I was in college, I wasn't thinking about that. I was wanting to run. I was wanting to be all over the world, wearing uniforms, wearing spikes, and having a great life, and not thinking about kids, not thinking about being a husband. None of that. I just want to run. I just want to, you know, go to school when I'm supposed to be there. You know, barely pass these classes, face academic, you know, kick out because I'm not doing everything I'm supposed to do. Missing study hall, being late for practice. Life just happening. Boom, 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 and then now. Fast forward 20 years, and I'm like, oh man, there were some critical errors that I made. Had I let those things affect me in a manner that I couldn't pull myself up by my bootstraps and say, all right, Nate, listen, it's right here. You know, when I was younger, it was way out there. Now it's like right here. I gotta be responsible for paying the mortgage. I gotta be responsible for paying this light bill.
I mean, it's so close. We're just like, hey, back up, give me 200 feet now. Give me 200.
Right.
We can't do that no more.
Yeah. You know? I got another question for you, bro. Travis Frederick, I went to high school. Low, bro. Listen, you think you and me connected? This guy, I'm telling you, this guy told me flat out, man, my mom changed his life in 6th grade. I'm so just, yeah, man. Shout out to my mom, Bernice Breland. You may not be watching, but I love you. I appreciate everything you've ever done. And it's just evident that this world has been much better because of you. His question to you, Chris, and I'll probably answer it too. He said to ask you how rough his road was. Do you think about the affluent? Hold on. Me double check and see what he's trying to say. Who by their children? Oh, what do you think about basically in a nutshell, he's asking, what do you think about people who buy their children's way into who are affluent and buy their way into colleges for their kids? What do you think about that? We can go on that one. Boy.
I mean, it's a blessing for the kid, first and foremost. It's a blessing to be able to do that, for your child. What I believe, and I've got in debates with especially women about this, is that when it comes to the child's education, the kid's education, whether it be whatever it is, education, acquiring information, acquiring insight, wisdom, skill, all of that. I believe that it's the responsibility of that kid or of that child, and in us as me as a parent, us as parents, it is our job and duty to teach them how to acquire the resources to attain the knowledge or the education and the wisdom that they are seeking, and not just be like, boom, you got a free college. Like they're they're not they're not learning work ethic. They're not learning how to be resourceful. They're not learning how to um, rely on themselves and call upon themselves. Because being in school, you all by yourself, and you gotta be resourceful. You gotta be able to trust yourself. One, believe in yourself. One, because it college for me was a definitely uh, awakening, because it was just like, okay, I got to make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and these decisions are going to affect the way that my life goes, regardless if I make a decision or not. But I need to make decisions, and we as individuals, we only make decisions based on the information that we have in our minds, based on the experiences that we go through, that we've been through, things that have conditioned us to, more so in college at that age, to react and not respond. So, so I'm a big proponent of helping the kid get scholarships, find scholarships, to be able to afford their way to get that education that they're seeking, because that's going to just benefit them in life after college as well, instead of just paying a lump sum. Hey, you got a free ride. Now whether they get that scholarships through going through the internet and filling out so many scholarships, or they get an athletic scholarship, or they get an academic scholarship. But either way, like that's on them. Like, so they got to put in the work, they got to put in the time, they got to put in the dedication and the energy to find the resources, to be resourceful, to get that education that they're seeking. So that's my take on that.
I
What
agree.
about you?
I agree with that. I'm not in it, and I think, and I don't want to come across as rude. Hey, if you can afford to put, I don't know what the college costs these years. I'm about to find out. I got to afford these.
50,000 average college costs 50,000 a year.
Cool. So you got 50 grand to drop every single year. Congratulations.
Right.
For the average person, they don't. And so what it looks like, obviously, you're gonna have to get those, the Pell grants, your state scholarships, your loans and things like that. I remember personally when, I had set up all my loans, I was able to, get everything pretty much that I needed. And then that one, later, maybe like going to my junior year, I didn't have enough money. And they told me, hey, you don't got enough money, bud. You're gonna have to go home. My mom was like, yeah, let's switch you to different schools. And I was like, no, this is where I want to be. She's like, well, if we're not paying for it, I'm like, well, I got to figure it out. By junior year, I was like, oh, well, I'm old enough, I can go get a loan now. But had I not, I feel like, to the point, had I not been built strong enough to understand the necessary steps it was going to take to be successful, or at least what I thought success was at that time, staying at school, being able to continue my education, I probably would have crumbled. I probably would have quit. I probably would have laid out, went to another school, not been, as successful or as driven, or not even being able to compete, whatever, barriers would have been presented at that point. But I think it does handicap the child sometimes when you give them so much in this world. Again, billionaire family, great, got it.
Yeah.
But at some point, you got to fend for yourself. Life is going to present itself in some way, shape, or form. No matter if you're a billionaire or you're 20, you have, paycheck to paycheck. No disrespect to either one. Life is going to present itself, and you're gonna, if you don't have the tools, if you haven't been trained, tried, and trusted, and failed again, it's going to knock you back. You're going to get knocked down.
Yeah.
And I think that, we as as former athletes and parents, a lot of times, affluent folks get the better end of the deal, and the folks that are not so affluent, they don't. And it triggers pathways in life that sometimes are not the best. It's tough, and it stinks. And I that's why I go so hard, and that's why I drill into my children. Hey, you got to get this in you. You got to take these steps. You got to be able to understand that this is what's going to come. This is going to come. It's going to happen. I tell my 14-year-old all the time. I'm like, baby, this is going to happen. She's liking young men, and I'm like, cool. Hey, this ain't gonna be the only one you like. I promise you, this one's gonna fall off, and it's gonna be another one. And and it's helping her understand it's gonna happen. Life is happening. You just have to roll with the punches and take the bumps and the bruises. This live, and I'll kind of transition a little bit. The title of this live is what you do when what you do is not enough. The failures come, or the discomfort, or the feeling like, man, I've done a lot. I've put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and I still don't feel appreciated. I still don't feel like I've achieved the success that I'm looking for, or thought I should have by this point in my life. Some people, that really tears them up. Hey, man, I'm 37 years old. By the 37, I figured I was going to be doing said thing, and I'm not. I had a moment in my last 10 years where I was like, man, like, okay, I'm not where I really need to be. And I really had to look at myself in the mirror, and the looking glass self, as they talk about so many times in college, it didn't look too good. I wasn't proud of the person that I was. Wasn't proud of the message or the image that I was presenting. And so, when others looked at me, I knew that they had a problem with what they saw, and I know I definitely had a problem with me. So, I'm telling you, I'm serious, man. I was like, man, if I don't do something right now, I'm not gonna have the wife that I'm supposed to have. These kids will be looking at me like I'm not, I'll just be struggling along. It's not gonna be smooth. I'm always going to be bumps in the road. However, because of me not putting things in place, it's going to be choppy. So I said, man, okay, let's make a turn. Let's make a turn here. So I started working on me. I started thinking back to the experiences from college, CSU. We've been through it all. But then post college, when we were living in Charleston, and we had to, deal with what we had to deal with there. It all was part of a growth pattern, opportunities for growth that we didn't really see them as growth. We just saw it as failure. We got evicted out of his apartment. Oh man, failure. No, man, it's an opportunity for the next stepping stone in life. That we just didn't see it like that.
So the thing, like the thing that I came to associate, failure with before, because at one point I failed so much, and that I was like, okay, I'm a failure. Like I'm considered. I accepted the fact that because I had so many fails in my life till I was 37, 38, that I was a failure. And and I was speaking with one of my deacons at church, and he was like, when you've been forgiven, like God has forgiven you for everything you've done, why haven't you forgiven yourself? Man, when I tell you I was crying crocodile tears on the phone right then and there, like that hit so hard, because that was something I didn't know to do. That was something I really didn't know how to do. So again, exposure. Like I didn't really know how to do that. I was shown that by another man or a male. I wasn't. It wasn't brought to me before ever before in that time. But when it comes to failures, like every single failure that I've had, Failures are nothing but it's a feedback system. It is telling you that there's something you did not do, obviously, or there's something that you don't know. It is not the beat up, be like, not again. It didn't work out. Like I quit. I suck. I'm a loser. You're like, no, no. Like that is a rabbit hole that we've all been down, but it's not a rabbit hole that we need to go down. Because it's those failures. It is whether it's a wall or a door. It's not telling you to back on up, go sit back down, and well, I should say when you hit the wall or you hit the door, like there's two things you need to do that has the word back in it. You need to go back down to your knees and you need to go back to the drawing board. Use that door or use that wall as to start the plan all over again. Okay, so I got this far. Now, what do I need to learn? Or what do I need, or who do I need to find, or what didn't I do this last go around that's going to get me over or through or under or right on the other side. So failures, it's and but that's hard to do because you gotta have that emotional IQ to
Mhm.
be able to respond to that failure and not react to the failure.
Wow. Yeah, that's huge right there. You said that, man. That's a great point, man. It's all in how we respond. Reaction or response. Like how do you handle it? If you're, we've been to both of us have achieved mountaintops, but something like I post today to Facebook, a mountaintop is only the bottom of the next mountain.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah,
keep going.
yeah.
And a lot of times, man, when we get to the top, we like, boom, I've done it.
Amazing,
I'm good. I don't have to, I could stop working. I've got
amazing.
it. But that life is still happening at that mountaintop.
Hmm.
And it's going to place you at that next purpose place, but you got to be ready to keep climbing. And a lot of times we don't. And then I'll be honest, we haven't a lot of times we haven't had good models for how that's supposed to look.
No, no.
No,
That
and
we kind of still don't.
right. I think, and honestly, we talked about it before we came on air. There's not a lot of guidance out there. There's not a lot of people, and no kudos to us. We give all glory to God for us being able to sit here and talk to people and share what we're talking about. But there's not much out there to hold on to. There is no more big mama that kind of poured
Uh,
into you. Those folks are gone. You know,
yeah.
if and so now is we have to come into this place where we understand we got to be relentless, like Travis said in the comment section. You got to be relentless,
Yeah.
relentless pursuit of greatness. How does that look for you? How are you going to get there? Man, I may not have all the answers. When I started these lives, I didn't have all the answers. I promise you I didn't. Facebook, I didn't have all the answers. All I said was, man, I'm gonna jump on these lives. I ain't never done them before. I didn't even know how to do a live, but I'm gonna jump on here and I'm gonna just start talking.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, when somebody told me, oh, you're arrogant and you're unprepared and your lives stink, I was like, oh, I probably need to stop doing that. But then I fell back and was like, you know what? I'm not really arrogant, but hey, thank God for the growth that somebody showed me and said, hey, boom, you need to work on you. Yeah, you know what? I probably am a little arrogant or probably come across as arrogant or a little bit unprepared. Cool. But that
yeah,
was part,
yeah. You got a little bit of that in you.
but
That's
that's
Nate.
who I am.
That's Nate. That's
Yeah,
Nate.
that's me. I'm a little arrogant. I'm
Yeah,
very,
that's
I'm
Nate.
very, I am who I am. I am who I am by the grace of God. And I'm thankful for who I am because, there was a point in my life where I was with people and surrounded by people that would not let me be who I was. I couldn't be me.
That's part of the problem.
And that's exactly part of the, you have to surround yourself around people who are going to allow you to operate in your vein tell you, hey, Chris, nah, man, listen, I love you, bro, but that ain't it.
Mm-hmm.
I may not have the answers, but I know what you're doing ain't right.
That ain't it.
This is what I went through. This is what you're gonna head to. If you don't change this, this is what's gonna happen for you. And it you gotta have the right circle. I talk about that all the time, man. You gotta have the people pumping that good stuff in you. And when you don't, you better have it down in you to get it done. Because there's been days, and I know you can identify with this. There's been days it ain't been nothing but you, God, and the floor that you're sleeping on.
Man, there's been a lot of those days.
Yeah.
You know, growing up as a single child and just always entertaining myself, being by myself. Like I was cool with being a tiger, right? I was cool with being a tiger. Like they run so low, and that's like my spirit animal, right? To this day, like I'm a tiger. Like I'm that dude, but I had to come out of that tiger mentality and become more of a lion. Like get some of them lion characteristics along with my. So I was trying to become that. What is that tie-in? Or the liger somehow,
Liger, yeah.
whatever. Like, I was trying to like be one of them, be like a hybrid,
Right.
You know? And it's just it's all part of it. It's all part of growth. Like there was part of that growth part where I had to like strip like every label that people gave me and that I gave myself that was not empowering me. And so I basically had to rewrite, rewire, reprogram the script for my life, for me, who Chris Ward was. Like it was to the point where like my first name is Christopher. Like I hated to be called Christopher. Like for the life of me, it was like, don't call me that name. I don't like it. You know, it's soft. I'm not soft. I'm hard. And I'm just as soft as can be all the way through, all the way through. But but once I basically stripped myself naked and was like, okay, who am I? Who is this dude? And who is he trying to be and who is he wanting to become? Um, I realized that my name had more power than I gave it. Christopher means a follower of Christ. And so I was like, okay, that's who I am. That's who I'm going to be.
Chris, let me get right in there with you, man. I was on one of my lives, man, and I did oh gosh, the name of it escapes me at the moment. Basically sending the representative instead of sending yourself.
Yeah.
I remember, I'll never forget, we had an awards Big South award show award meeting at CSU, and I got Big South Athlete of the Year or something like that. And for the most part, all my awards had said Nathan. For those on Facebook who do not know, my name is not Nate. It is Nathan. Nathan. Whole name. And
Nathan Breland.
Nathan Breland. And my mother, she loves it, but she doesn't like me being called Nate. And so I got that particular award, and that was a pretty big time award. And she said, she asked me why I accepted it. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, well, that's not your name. And it had Nate Breland.
Yeah.
And I never caught it. I never caught what she was getting at until I got older. And I said, oh, I shortened my name to be identified how I was trying to be identified. But my name is Nathan. And that has power.
Yeah.
And so one of my lives, man, I was sitting there and I was talking about identities that people gave me, fast runner, womanizer, cheater, not good enough. I just started going through this.
Arrogant,
unprepared, smartest guy in the room, or so he thinks so.
Right. It's a lot of them.
I went through the notepad and I was just like, but then I changed the colors because when I changed, hold on, let me grab this other one. Then I changed the colors, but then I said, confident. Mm-hmm. I am somebody.
Yeah.
I'm not your stepping stone. I will be a winner. I started, and people were like, yo, that's so dope. And I was like, you know what? It's all about what you see when you look at you. When we stop allowing the naysayers, the yellow, the ones that throw up the caution flags, the flags on the play, boom, right there. No, you're not throwing no flags on my plays.
Yeah.
The year is 2022, and I can guarantee you there's people that's watching this live, there's people that are going to rewatch this replay. They are scared to run the play. Run the play, man.
Yeah. Listen, it's all about having courage. It's all about being brave and being bold.
Run the play, man.
This life that we were given, it's not my own. It's not your own. Like we just got to be courageous enough to really step out of our comfort zone.
Man, Nick Saban was getting his butt kicked just a couple of days ago, and he still ran the play that we all thought he shouldn't run, but he still ran the play.
That hurt.
He still ran the play. He took the chances. Did it work? No, but hey, he tried. And that's just showing up and trying that's half the battle, but it's a start. Yeah. If you don't even try, if you don't even come off the bench, hey, man, you can forget it. You can forget it. And, that translates into so many facets of our life. And I want to bring it back to kind of why I did this live tonight. Let's talk about marriages and relationships. And when yes, sir, let's go. Let's go. Because now, we got the pleasantries out the way, Chris. I'm gonna tell you now, 9 minutes with Nate. Now I'll be saying I come with it now. I don't try to spare no feelings.
It's okay. Man. Listen, I know you and I know me. Like we're not superficial dudes. Like we iceberg deep. Like we the iceberg part that you don't see.
Man, I have you done like both sides of the toast and the toaster.
I mean, so I'm okay with it. Let's get it. Man. Relationships, marriage, like I'm ready. Like,
man, listen. I know for a fact that there have been times that men have felt and currently feel that they're expected to be the breadwinner, maybe not expected, or have this self understanding that, hey, I'm supposed to be the breadwinner, I'm supposed to do this. These are supposed to's when it comes to me being a male in my house. Got it. Then, they go and they perform those duties. Then they come home and they try to perform more duties, be an active family member in the home. And it's perceived by the male from the partner that it's not enough. The male instantly, because we are ego driven, gotta understand how we work. Because see, that's part of it too. Men, waffles, line and waffles. Women, bowl of noodles, everything's connected. Keeping it 100. Keeping it 100. We think differently. We handle and respond and
differently, see differently.
We see it different. So when we don't get that moment of praise, like, thanks, babe. You took out the trash. Things that we're supposed to do. We're supposed to take out trash. I don't like I don't let my girls touch the trash. But things that we do, we look for praise for. We do. It's natural. Mm-hmm. However, sometimes the spouse, and it's reversed. Males do it to females. Females do it to males. Sometimes there can be a perceived lack of appreciation from the other, that, man, I go out here and I work 90,000 hours a week. Then I come home, I cook, clean, change diapers, do this, and this, and you still don't think I'm enough. I still haven't given enough. What do you do with that? How do you handle
Man,
that?
that's
Let me help you.
well, I mean, like
That's a big one right there, man.
I know so this is a this is so deep because um as a man we do seek, you know, that validation, that appreciation, that attaboy, that pat on the back, like all of that stuff. How that came about, I don't know. Is that how we wired? I don't know, but that's just how it goes.
Yep.
The new dynamic of a relationship nowadays, they have changed so much, and we were brought up in still on the end of that. This is how a man's supposed to be, and this is what a man is supposed to do. So we're still, like me and you, applying those old traditional old school values and ways and principles, and to basically the new school of how it's going down. Well, if if I was to do it all over again, basically hindsight is 2020.
Sure.
Um, I would we as men, we need to get to the point, right, before we get into any relationship, that that we're not needing validation, that we're not needing approval, that we're not basically using her or that relationship to fill whatever void that we're trying to fill.
Oh,
And
there you
so
go. That's
and
good right
so
there.
it's
That's
it's
good.
it's very important that you somehow early enough as a man and in life, female as well, get emotional IQ early enough
Mhm.
in your living to know that you have voids and that you have traumas and from life, from upbringing, from your past, from mom, from dad, from uncle, from whoever, that you have to heal from before you get in a relationship, because you're getting
Mhm.
we we get into relationships to fill voids. Like
Wow.
as a young age, we are filling voids that do not need to be filled by a relationship or a man, because you're going to be or a female, because you're going to end up with the wrong individual trying to plug a hole with a triangle or a square or a rectangle that does not belong. Um, and so
Mm.
when it comes to you know when what to do when it's not enough, like I don't know the dynamics of, per se, everyone's relationship, right?
Mhm.
I just know as a man, like you have to know within yourself that what I'm doing, right, is for the family and for my wife, for my kids. Like it's that self esteem. Like this is what I know I'm supposed to do. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, Now, as the relationship itself, okay, that's a different dynamic. Your wife has her own different dynamic. So, or yeah, the female, she has her own different dynamic. So, you guys have to work that dynamic together. No relationship works without two working the relationship. All right.
Yeah.
So, what if if my other half, right, is not happy for some reason,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be man enough and woman enough to be like, babe, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? How can we get better? Okay. Because one thing I know with women, women like to talk. Women talk their feelings out. And as men, we have to get to that point where we can talk our feelings out as well.
Yeah.
That right there blocks most men from being able to fix relationships and marriages because men and emotions, for the most part, my upbringing has been oil and water.
I agree
And
with that.
and we cannot continue to let that be the standard, right?
Mhm.
So it's like when are we as men going to change the narrative that men are not emotionally uh, intelligent enough to deal with their emotions? When are we going to get to the point where we can talk with our significant others and be vulnerable with
Oof.
our significant others?
Oof.
Because regardless of what relationship you're in, whether you're married, whether you're in just a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship, us as men, we are the heads. The relationship, okay, is determined by us. The relationship, it doesn't matter what stage, what level, it is determined by us. And if we are not leading that relationship, if we are not guiding that relationship, if we don't have a vision for that relationship, if we don't have a plan for that relationship, if we
Mm.
don't have and I got this from one of my clients, if we don't have the importance for the relationship and if we don't value that relationship, then it is it's a just scenario. And that is what really nobody wants, because for one thing, our time is very valuable, our energy is very valuable, and those are the two things you really don't want to waste because you can't get them back. All right. So so when it comes to, I don't feel like I'm doing enough, well, do you know what it is that you're not doing that she is
Mm.
unhappy about? Does he know what he's doing that you're unhappy about? Like it's communication really is the best key. It is the only key that holds a relationship together. Because if we can talk, if we can have a dialogue, right? Anything and everything is fixable if we can have a dialogue. So that's my little rant.
No, that's good, man. That's real good. So you say you brought up a good point with the communication. A lot of times the communication is not is developed on, and we're gonna be very blunt. We can communicate about sexual needs. We can communicate about pieces of monetary things. But when it comes to our feelings, no, we can't talk about our feelings. Yeah,
Good.
a man, we do
Good.
this, and we, you know,
Good.
I can attest to it. My
Yeah.
grandfather, you know, I never really saw my grandparents be loving to my father. I was young. I'm old enough to have seen my grandparents and my dad's relationship to understand, you know, kind of some dynamics there. So, my dad was born in 43,
Mhm.
way back,
Yeah.
saying I love you and hugging and
What's that? What is that? Yeah, go out
So
and make that money so we can pay this bill.
work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
it.
and everything will be all right. You know, so when it translated to me was my dad didn't love me. So I didn't know how, you know, mom did an excellent job trying to
Mhm.
teach me how to be a man and be a communicating person, communicating and workable partner in a relationship. However, I needed my father to show me a lot of those pieces that I didn't get until later on. So the communication gap sometimes does attribute to the male feeling like, well, I felt, you know, I stayed home, I worked from home today, and I cleaned the whole house, and my wife barely made a pass of, oh, great job, babe. She barely even said anything. Internally, she may not, well, verbally, she may not say, vocalize to you, hey, babe, you did a great job. Thank you for doing that. But you know what? She rests really well that night because the house was clean. There wasn't chaos in the house. She didn't have to worry about stepping over toys, falling over dirty clothes. That's her thanks. And we have to sometimes be okay with the non-visual cue that she's okay. Now, we know our women, we know our partners, whoever you know you're dealing with. So you know on some pieces of the spectrum that you something ain't right.
So man, right.
But it's like you said, us as men, I had to learn something that, you know, when with headship, it's a divine position, regardless of who makes more money, that don't matter. A man is the head. But we also have to learn something that we have to not be something that my apostle always says, you can't be calm, be the king. A king guides and leads. Kong is pulling. Come in. Come in.
Yeah. So
You'll
it's one thing I learned about, you know, king, right? Being a king, being the head, is that a king is supposed to, right? A king is supposed to serve his people,
Mhm.
not the people serve the king. The
That's right.
king is supposed to serve the people.
That's
So you
good.
take that as like every man is the king of his house. So that man, right, has the responsibility of serving each and every individual in that house. You know, regardless if, you know, he gets the praise or not, he has a responsibility, not just for himself, but for everyone under that roof. You know, so the attaboy has to come from within.
Oh,
The
that's
the
good.
the applause has to come from within. Like, okay, the bills are paid, the cars are mechanic, we're all good. The we still have a roof over the head, the lights are still on, everybody's fed. Like, kids is running around here tripping over stuff, and I'm stepping over toys and hurting my foot while I'm going up and down the stairs. I'm good. Life is great. You know,
Mhm.
we got money in the bank, we got food and got clothes. Like, I'm good. Like, the needs, right? The needs are met. Like, it doesn't. The wants are superficial. I'm just be flat out blunt about that. The wants of life are superficial. It's really all about the needs. Once the needs are met, everything else is just extra. So as a man, and even as a woman, um, be be courageous enough, be strong enough, be whole enough, be healed enough, and be vulnerable enough with yourself. Be true and honest and real to be like, I already have the validation. I
Wow.
already have the acceptance. Like, I already have the worth and the value, not not to flaunt, right? And it's because I don't have any voids within me to
Mhm.
feel. Like, I don't need to have, hey, good job, baby. Like, no, let's trust me. I love that applaud, right? I love to receive it, but I don't need it because for one, I was born with it. It was given to me. It was
Mm,
gifted to me, and we're out here seeking it from people who didn't even give it to us in the first place. Like
wow.
you're born with this stuff, kid.
Wow.
Like it's
That's
given
good.
to you
That's
because
good.
like you so here's another of my rant. Like you're before I knew you, I mean before I formed the world, I knew you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put what you need already in you, and I need you to go do this job for me on earth. That is the charge for every single one of us on this earth. Like you've been given a task, you've been given a mission, like you've been charged to
Wow.
be here. Like this is not just a free range. Like you were born to like retire one day and just vacation and pay the bills. And like that's not that's not what we're supposed to do. Like we were given validation, we were given acceptance, and we were given approval because we were given life. We were given that opportunity to help and be a part of humanity. So before you go into any relationship, and even if you are in a relationship, like figure out if that relationship is a void filler, or if a relationship you're looking at going into is a void filler, and then pump the brakes and be like, okay, I need to fill these holes before I go even further. Because this is what happens, right? This is what happens when you go into relationships, or when you're looking for a partner with without having voice to feel. You end up finding the person that complements you perfectly because you know exactly how and what that person needs to be, because you know exactly who you are, whole,
Mm,
holy.
mm.
Right, man.
Wow,
That's
man.
right, man.
Wow, man. I remember when I got married, and well, we were in counseling, and our apostle flat out told us, he said, you will never, when you are in covenant with someone, the other person may appear to be here. They are really right here with you. And we will sometimes mask our shortcomings by trying to blow up one area to make
Yeah,
us look as though we are so much better.
yeah.
You're really right here. And so when you get into covenant with someone, and y'all are working through these things, man, you start identifying some things in them that you do, and it's like, oh, that's why we together. Because you know what, look, we supposed to be trying to fix these things together, because you do the same thing I do. You just do it from a different perspective, from a woman's perspective. I do it from a man. I'm telling you, that's golden what you said, man. I identify that with my own, and it just really resonates strongly with me, because I really see that a lot of times in my previous marriage and previous relationships, relationship to relationship, I wasn't even whole, man.
Yeah,
I
listen.
wasn't. So you could have told me I was the best athlete, and I wouldn't have believed you, because you
Come
know
on.
what? I didn't believe enough of me. I
Yeah,
didn't believe enough in myself, and I
yeah,
didn't have that. So to pull it back. So men that are going to watch this live, let me address it right. So guys, let me say this. This is no knock on your ego. This is firmly saying, we as men, black, white, purple, orange, we all deal the same way. We're men. Um, we got to get as much strength and gusto as we try to carry. We still have those soft parts. We still have those places that sometimes when we are quote unquote rejected, we have an issue with rejection. That'll be part two. Don't answer. Don't say nothing about rejection, because that's a whole nother 2 hours right there. We don't want that. They don't want that today. That's gonna set it off. Facebook gonna kick us off. So, but we struggle with rejection and how to handle that when we feel inadequate from our role as the head. We have to go to our partner and say, hey, listen, was there something that I did that didn't quite resonate well? Did I do what can I do to be better for you? But also we have to take that same feeling and say, ma'am, here's how you made me feel. Am I perceiving this correctly? Is this really how you were trying to make me feel? Because a lot of times we're wrong. Mm-hmm. We don't understand the nonverbal. We just assume that the body language says one thing and it may not have anything to do with us.
Yeah.
But because of how we perceive and receive and understand, it messes us up. So guys, I challenge you guys, if you're in a relationship, marriage, partnership, whatever you got going on, dealing with someone else, friendship, they don't even got to be with a female, just your friends. Challenge you to really identify what the true issue is. Is it that person or is it you?
Yeah.
Always be challenging yourself to
like, is it your mom? Is it your daddy? Is it like, what is it? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Another thing, like just to piggyback on language, right? Language is huge, and it's not necessarily what you say, even though that has a big part of it, but it's about how you say it. So, and what I mean by that, is this, you have to ask yourself, after you basically do any delivery, right? Man or woman, in whatever relationship, is the message I'm sending the message that's being received?
Whoa. That's good. That's good.
That will eliminate a lot of the language miscues that go on in relationships, because like you can tell, right? Man, female, male, like you can tell if your message got received or not.
Absolutely.
And how it got received. Like you be able to tell
quickly
how it got received. So you again that and it and a lot of things that we as men, we as people, women need to get a hold of, like early, is emotional IQ, so that we can respond to things and not react to things, because we're so reaction driven, and a lot of our reactions put us in a position that we don't need to be in, and most time that position is negative. Yeah. So if we're able to have the discernment to be like, oh, she looked at me this way, okay, so how am I going to respond to that?
Yeah.
Besides, what? Why are you looking at me like that? I was no. Yeah. So again, it's having the emotional IQ, right, to be able to control your emotions, will bode well for you in life, period, and also for you in a relationship, because you'll minimize a lot of the ups and downs or the crazy cycles that comes out or goes through a relationship, because you can be like, oh, so your look said this to me, and this is what I'm getting from it. Is this what you really mean? Like if you can do that before you go off the cliff,
Mm-hmm.
like you saved you saved your your relationship
Absolutely.
that night.
Absolutely. We are so programmed to come with the wrong responses based upon uh only listening to prepare our response instead of listening for understanding. So when we missed the piece that probably could have calmed us down because we heard that one line, and that one line is all we heard, and we missed the bread on the top.
Yeah.
We only heard that bun that meat in the middle that upset us, and now all of a sudden, boom, we can't handle it no more. And so man, this is good, Chris, man. This is so good.
Yeah, I
This is man, we just hitting the tip of the iceberg on this thing, man. It really warms me that we think, I knew we were going to be on the same wavelength anyway, but a lot of the responses I'm seeing, people are really getting good information here, Chris. I don't know how long we can have Facebook on live here, but man, this has been great. What I want to do, man, I want to book a part 2, man. We've been going for an hour, man, and folks who are just coming on live and they're just tuning into this. This is my best bud from college, Chris Ward, who is the owner and operator of. We didn't even talk about your brand, man. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that, man.
Hey, it's okay, man. That's the least of my worries right now.
Yeah, we gotta plug that. We gotta plug that brand though, man. We gotta get people in shape too and get healthy, man. That's another thing that's going rampant in this country. We gotta get that in the wraps too. Man, so listen, if you want to take a minute and talk about that, man, when we'll wrap it up after you get finished talking about your brand. Please plug your brand, my friend.
So Champions Way Fitness and Sports Training LLC it's a mobile company based out of Orlando, Florida. We offer in-person and online for personal training, yoga instruction, only in person for massage therapy. We got a registered dietitian on board, who's pretty much able to go nationwide because of online. We got life coaching. Myself is a life coach, and we have another trainer who's a life coach. Sports conditioning and stress therapist. And I feel like I'm forgetting something, but and it's all about preserving life, helping people live life happy, enjoy life, be stronger, be fit, be in the best shape of your life, reducing pains and stresses, and just trying to make life better for you as an individual. And so that's really what the company is all about. So you can find us at championswayfitness.com and Facebook Champions Way Fitness, Instagram Champions Way Fitness. You can find us there. So
awesome, man. Hey, listen, if you are in the Orlando area and you need to get yourself together, this is the person you need to go see. Trust me, years of experience, certified, up and down the book. Don't worry about it. You covered. I guarantee it, man. This guy, he's your guy. So listen, y'all. It has been a powerful hour and 15 minutes of information. I hope you have gotten something out of this. I guarantee we are going to do a part 2 where we really deep dive some of these topics. Chris and I, we were on, just the other day just said, man, let's just collab and let's get some messages out. And man, look at what we've got going here. We're going to get a part 2 to you guys. So y'all definitely stay tuned. Please, as you are exiting or entering, please click like, hit share. We've got a lot of shares out there. We'll definitely be posting this to the website and getting it out so everyone can watch it on replay if they need to. Chris, man,
I appreciate it, man.
Bro. I appreciate you popping on, giving us some knowledge, man, giving us your transparency. I'm thankful for your transparency. It really speaks to your growth. And, from the years I've known you, man, I'm so proud of the person that you've become. I was proud of you then. I'm super proud of you now.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, man. And we will definitely have you back. So, when we clear our schedules and we want to reschedule, let's do it again, man. I'm so thrilled that we were.
I'm up for it. I'm ready for some more. I'm
Yes,
ready.
sir.
I'm ready to give. I'm full, and I'm ready to be empty so I can get refilled and dump out some more. Like I'm ready. Like
My
I'm
God.
inspired. I'm courageous. I'm bold. I'm ready to help some people out. Like that's really what it's all about.
Awesome, man. Awesome, man. Well, what we gonna do, man? We're gonna get on up out of here. I'm 9 minutes with Nate. Every Thursday I come to you guys 5:00. You will get the flyers if we decide to do a special event. Please, when you see it, hit like, hit share, put it out there. We appreciate all the support. Chris, I know he's gonna get many people hitting him up, and hey, go hit this guy up. He's got what it takes to get you fit. And man, just keep supporting 9 minutes with Nate. I appreciate it. 9 minutes with Nate at gmail.com. If you need me, I'm on Facebook, 9 minutes with Nate, and on YouTube as well. Please go follow right now, hit subscribe so you can get the notifications, the videos. We're going to be dumping so much information. And we got a boot camp coming up. If you're in the South Carolina area, man, you might want to stay tuned because this boot camp going to be something serious. We're going to get it's open for males and females, but it is catered to the males. We're trying to focus on males. Make sure that they're kings and not kings. We're trying to get them together. So, but we appreciate the views tonight. Thank y'all so much. I'm 9 minutes with Nate, Chris Ward. We out of here. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Y'all be blessed. We go.
Yes, sir.